Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and The Flash, issue number 51. Nothing in my hands. Yeah, I dropped this to digital only because I don't feel the need to have this stuff in my collection at this point. Mostly just because of the Flash War. Make no mistake, this was a good issue. I enjoyed this issue. It's just the whole, Flashpoint kind of left me Flash War left me a little wanting. I felt that something that was supposed to be built up that much, something called Flash War, was supposed to be a whole heck of a lot bigger than just what we got, basically. Anyway, Joshua Williamson writing, Scott Holmes on art. This is new art, and I kind of dig this. Luis Guerrero colors, Steve Wan's lettering. So, I enjoyed this book. At first, I didn't really like the rendition of Batman, but I also realized it's because it was during the day, and at night it probably would have seemed a little bit better. It did seem more anime cartoonish, you know what I'm saying, as opposed to the typical Batman that we're used to getting. But I could appreciate it. Like by the second panel that I saw him, I was like, okay, I really dig this version of Batman. You know what I'm saying? I got no problems with this guy whatsoever, especially since he's in a Flash book, and again in the middle of the day. And the conversation they had about, you just wish that you had a statue. You know, they'll never build a statue of you. Batman's not about that statue, son. He could build his own. But it was cool that they were building the statue of Barry and Wally. Yeah, a little bit of a spoiler for the end. It is what it is, man. That was really gorgeous. I like that Superman and Wonder Woman came also because they wanted to take Wally away to Sanctuary. And that's for the new comic that's coming out, The Heroes in Crisis. So that's cool that we got a little lead in for that. That was especially cool for me. The emotion. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, I know that Green Lantern is supposed to be known for the emotional spectrum, but if you want actual emotion in a comic book, it's supposed to be Flash that you come to. And while I did get some of that in Flash War, I don't feel like it was quite the right way to express it. Here, I really felt it. So when they call this the epilogue to the Flash War, it's more like this was the payoff for the Flash War. I wanted to see that damn emotion, man. Like, that's what the Flashes are. You want to have that heart-wrenching feeling, that loving feeling, that inspiring feeling. You start reading the Flash comic books, bruh. So I got that here. Wally just running and running and running. Man, I'm hoping this turns into something. Because obviously, like, just you know what? If you really want to experience, if you're new to the Flash and you want to understand where this emotion comes from and whatnot, just look at the one panel with Iris when she's threatening Superman and Wonder Woman. And obviously they're not impressed. I mean, come on. But I think that the payoff would have come better if we could have seen another panel with them looking at her with their eyes, with like Superman's eyes open a little bit, like, and then Wonder Woman kind of like, because she's full of love, you know what I'm saying? And just kind of, that sort of understanding with her eyes. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the artist is limited by that, Scott Hollands. Maybe he's limited and he can't do. I don't know. But like he drew the sadness pretty well. He drew the eyes pretty darn well. So I don't know. I'm trying to make excuses why they didn't just do that one panel because it's just like they completely ignored her, and that's not cool. When she turned around and said, you know, something to the effect of, "You're going to treat him right, or you're going to answer to me." That was a powerful moment. That was a moment where I stopped for a second. I paused for a second. I'm like, thank you. Welcome back, Flash Comics. And then I just kind of looked, like the next panel, they just completely ignored it. Superman and Wonder Woman were just like, okay, so anyway, the crazy chick is talking about. Like, come on, man. See, and this is what I'm talking about. Look, Joshua Williamson is a really good writer. He's even a good Flash writer. I'm looking for something better than this. And I feel like, and maybe this is just me, you know, like, who the hell am I? I'm not going to sit here and just bash somebody. That's not my intent. But I wish that Joshua understood, or at least expressed it in writing, the way that I was kind of looking for it. The Flash has always been about that emotion. You want that good read where, you know, the stigma. Men aren't supposed to have any emotions except for anger. Yeah, except for when we're reading The Flash. That's why the doors are usually closed. You know, when we're reading the Flash comics, close the freaking door. You know what I'm saying? We don't need somebody walking in while we're sitting there. What because that's how I'm supposed to feel. That's how I'm supposed to feel. You know what I'm saying? Either way, there were a couple of really good moments in here, though. See, and this is what I'm saying about Williamson is a good Flash writer. He does get certain of those points. He get, tick, tick, tick. He'll check off the right boxes when he needs to. He just doesn't necessarily drive it home. But where Iris says to Barry, "You've always been a good father," to Wally. That was good. I think that one was driven home pretty well because they did have the next panel or whatever where they hugged. You know what I'm saying? And you kind of got that. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. That's the stuff that I want to see. Because let's be realistic. They've all got the exact same darn power. You know what I'm saying? Who cares? There's a million Flashes. There's even more Green Lanterns. They've all got the same power. It's how for the Green Lanterns, it's how they use it. For the Flashes, it's not about how they use it because they all learn how to replicate each other's abilities. No, it's about how they treat each other. It's about their approach to being a hero. That's the stuff that makes me want to read the Flashes. And here is probably the first comic that I read under Williamson that I started to feel that. I want to really be able to sink into that. Until that happens, I'm going to stay digital for these comics. I just don't need... for me, it's almost like, cool looking clutter that's filling up my boxes. And So it was a good comic. I'm waiting for it to become great. That's where I stand with the Flash right now. No disrespect. Hell if I'm ever going to disrespect somebody who's in, who writes and draws comics. Not my place. But I am looking for a little bit more. And that's all there is to it. All right, guys. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.